You ever stop and think how weird it is that being alive comes with a bill? I mean, you don't even have to do anything. You wake up one day, you cry a little, someone hands you a birth certificate, and bam! Congratulations, you've just joined the world's most expensive club, humanity. There's no trial period, no free version with ads, no skip payment this month, a button, just immediate debt. You're alive now, start paying for it. From the minute you show up, someone's got the meter running. Hospitals don't even wait till you're home before they send the invoice. They'll charge you for things you didn't even ask for delivery fee, like you had another option. What were you supposed to do? Crawl out on your own? They'll charge for the doctor, the nurse, the blanket, the room, and I'm pretty sure they've got a line item for existence fee. And the kid's just lying there thinking, what did I do? I was in the dark 5 minutes ago. Then you grow up and they tell you life's a gift that comes with a monthly statement. You try not paying the electric bill 1 month and you'll find out how fast that gift gets repossessed. Suddenly you're sitting in the dark, trying to remember if candles are romantic or just depressing. And have you noticed it's not enough just to survive? Oh no, you have to pay to maintain your right to keep surviving. You pay for air conditioning so you don't melt. You pay for water, the stuff that falls from the sky for free. You can't even drink rainwater anymore without someone giving you a dirty look like you're some kind of rebel against the plumbing system. They've turned show into an industry. You can't bottle joy, but they sure figured out how to bottle thirst. Then there's housing. You don't own your house. Even if you buy it, the government will kindly remind you every year with property taxes that you're just renting from them indefinitely. It's like Monopoly, but with real tears. They say home is where the heart is, but it's also where the mortgage lives, where the bills come to party, and where hope goes when it needs to lie down. Everywhere you go, there's a bill. You drive a car, you pay for gas, insurance, registration. That's not a car, that's a mobile invoice machine. You go out to eat, they hand you a bill for food, a bill for drinks, a bill for service. I've seen restaurants charge a table maintenance fee. What's that? You want me to chip in for the table now? I'm not buying furniture, I'm just trying to eat spaghetti. Even doing nothing costs something. Sit at home. There's the electric bill, the water bill, the rent, the phone bill. Try to relax, you'll remember your internet bill, because apparently peace of mind now comes with a Wi-Fi password. And the irony of it all, the most absurd part, is how we just accept it. Nobody questions it. We all just nod like, yeah, this makes sense. Breathing, existing, walking around, sure, I'll pay for that. You can't even step outside your door without paying for shoes to protect your feet from a sidewalk someone taxed you to build. It's the world's longest running joke, and we're all the punchline. You know what really gets me? They tell you to get a job so you can make a living. But what they really mean is get a job so you can afford to stay alive. There's a difference. You're not living, you're just renting time. You wake up, go to work, pay your bills, and if there's any money left, you buy coffee just to stay awake long enough to keep the whole system going. You're not chasing dreams, you're chasing due dates. And all these bills come with the same cheerful tone. Thank you for your payment. Yeah, like I had a choice. They never say sorry for bothering you while you're busy existing. Just thank you for giving us back the money we said you owed for not freezing to death this month. You start realizing everything in life is one big loop. You work to pay bills so you can have electricity to wake up early enough to go to work to pay more bills. It's a hamster wheel powered by caffeine and regret. You could live in a cardboard box and someone would still find a way to charge you ground rent. And don't you love the language they use? Utilities. Sounds so noble, like they're doing you a favor. We provide utilities. No, You provide basic human survival and charge a premium. You're not a hero. You're the guy holding the oxygen tank at the marathon. Even the government's in on the joke. You earn money, and before you even touch it, they take a chunk. Taxes, they don't trust you to hand it over voluntarily, so they take it at the source. It's like a friend who borrows money before you even offer. Then they spend it on things you'll never see, and when the roads still have potholes, they tell you, we need more of your money. It's an endless cycle of paying for things that should just exist. And the craziest part, we invented money. We made it up, little green paper with dead people's faces, and now it decides who gets to live comfortably and who gets to stress about rent. We built a whole system where survival depends on imaginary credit, and then we call that civilization. It's like someone took the idea of life, this miraculous, unpredictable, beautiful thing, and decided to attach a billing system to it. Congratulations, you're alive. Please insert payment to continue. It's absurd. We're the only species that does this. You ever see a squirrel with an overdue nut bill? A pigeon worried about late fees? No, animals just exist. They eat, they sleep, they fly, they live. We humans, we've got to sign up for auto, pay just to keep the lights on. And somehow, in the middle of all this madness, they tell you to be grateful. Count your blessings, sure. I'll count them right after I finish counting the bills, because nothing says gratitude like realizing your water bill went up again because you took an extra shower trying to wash the stress off. But we keep going. We laugh about it, we shrug, we joke, because deep down we know if we stop laughing, we might actually think about how strange it all is. The absurdity of paying to exist, paying to stay warm, paying to stay sane. And maybe that's the trick, to see the humor in it, to realize that if life's gonna charge us rent for breathing, the least we can do is laugh loud enough to make it worth the price. So after you've accepted the fact that just existing costs money, you get promoted into adulthood, the world's least exciting theme park, and the main attraction, paying bills. That's right, step right up, ride the endless loop of adulthood. No safety harness, no refund, and the only prize at the end is another bill. It's not even a surprise anymore they show up on time like they've got better work habits than you, and everyone warned you, didn't they? When you were a kid, people would say, enjoy it while it lasts. You thought they meant childhood. No, they meant freedom from invoices, because once you grow up, every day is just another episode of guess which bill is due this week. You wake up with a mystery and go to bed broke. It starts innocent enough. You get your first job, your first paycheck, and you feel powerful. You think, hey, I'm making money, I'm part of society now. Then the bills show up and remind you that you're not part of society, you're a customer. A lifelong subscriber to the great service plan of being alive, and the system's genius, isn't it? They make it look like you have choices. Would you like to pay monthly, quarterly, or annually? It's all the same money. You're just deciding how frequently you want to cry. It's psychological manipulation dressed up as convenience. Every month you go through the same ritual. You get paid, look at your bank account, smile for half a second, then watch that number melt away faster than an ice cube on a grill. Rent, power, phone, groceries, poof, gone. And after all that, you're left with enough to buy half a sandwich and a bus ticket. And people say money can't buy happiness, yeah, but it can sure rent a little relief before next month shows up with a new invoice. And then there's this thing they call budgeting. Oh, what a beautiful idea that is pretending you're in control. You sit down with your calculator like a general planning a battle, confident, organized. 2 hours later, you've surrendered to the spreadsheet because there's no winning. You're not managing money, you're rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. The bills come in waves. You pay one, another shows up. You finally catch up, then someone raises a fee, adds a processing charge, or introduces something called a maintenance cost. What's a maintenance cost? they're maintaining the privilege of charging you. I'd love to pull that at work, "Hey boss, I'm billing you extra for the effort of existing today." And let's not forget those sneaky late fees. Oh, they love those. You miss the deadline by a day, and they act like you burned down the power plant. "You're late, sir. There's a penalty." A penalty for what? Being poor on schedule. They could just say, "We noticed you're struggling. Here's an extra punch to the wallet." Meanwhile, the people who make these bills, they sit around inventing new ways to sound friendly while taking your money. "Thank you for being a valued customer." Valued? I'm broke. If I was valued, you'd lower the price. You're not thanking me, you're thanking my credit limit. And speaking of credit, let's talk about that scam. They convince you that borrowing money is the key to freedom, then penalize you for using it. You buy something for $100, miss one payment, and suddenly you owe $175 because nothing says helping the economy. Like punishing people for trying to participate in it. Then they tell you your credit score is low, as if that's some moral failing. It's not a score, it's a report card for adulthood, and everyone's failing math. But that's what adulthood is, this endless balancing act. You work to pay bills, you pay bills so you can keep working, and you work harder to pay the new ones that appeared while you were paying the old ones. It's like playing financial whack-a-mole with your soul, and they always tell you it'll get better once you settle down. Oh yeah, settle down into what? More bills. Now you've got a spouse, a kid, maybe a dog. Congratulations. You've just upgraded your financial suffering package. You've unlocked family-sized expenses. Every milestone in life is just a new tier of billing. Marriage, license fee, house, mortgage, baby, hospital fee, diaper fee, college fund. You can't even celebrate without generating paperwork. You think it'll slow down when you retire. That's the great myth, retirement. You'll finally relax. No. You'll finally pay medical bills instead of electric ones. They just change the category of what drains you. You'll be sitting in a recliner, staring at your pill organizer, thinking, "I worked 40 years so I could afford this blood pressure medication." And in between all that, you get the glorious privilege of being marketed to nonstop. Every ad, every commercial, every billboard, all reminding you there's still something else you haven't paid for yet. They'll sell you a solution to a problem they invented. Tired of paying bills, they'll say, "Sign up for our bill management service." Oh great, another bill to help me pay my bills. It's like trying to cure a hangover with more vodka. You start realizing that the whole system is built on one beautiful illusion that you're in control. But really, you're just feeding the meter, hoping it doesn't run out before you do. The direct debits, the automatic payments they make, sure, the money moves before you even think about touching it. It's like having invisible hands in your pockets, politely taking what's owed. And still, somehow, we're all out here trying to find joy, trying to have a weekend, you know, that sacred 48-hour window when you can pretend you're not just a cog in the economy. Saturday comes and you think, maybe I'll go out, treat myself. Then you remember you can't afford to treat yourself, you just treated the electric company. So you stay in, watch TV, and pray that nothing breaks, because one broken toaster could derail your financial future. And here's the kicker, the people who made this system, they call it civilization. That's what makes me laugh. Civilization. We've advanced so far that now, instead of hunting food, we hunt for the best phone plan. Instead of fighting for survival, we fight over billing errors. Civilization. We've replaced danger with inconvenience, and somehow it's just as stressful. The whole adult routine is an absurd ritual we all perform with straight faces. Wake up, work, pay, repeat. We even congratulate each other for doing it. Hey, good job paying your bills on time. That's not an accomplishment, that's a survival instinct. It's like praising someone for remembering to breathe. And through it all, there's this strange pride in the struggle. We joke about it, complain about it, but deep down we know everyone else is going through the same loop. It's the great equalizer. Doesn't matter who you are, how smart, how organized, nobody escapes the cycle. We're all just running on the treadmill, hoping not to fall off before payday. But maybe that's the point, not to escape it, but to see it clearly, to laugh at the absurdity of it. Because when you start laughing at the system, you take back a little power. They can bill your wallet, but they can't bill your sense of humor. So after all that, after you've worked, sweated, and paid just to exist, after you've spent years doing the monthly money dance, earning, spending, worrying, repeating, you start to realize something. This whole setup is completely insane, and yet here we all are, pretending it's perfectly normal. The absurdity isn't just in paying bills, it's in acting like we're supposed to enjoy it. That's where the real comedy lies. Because you can't escape it, you can't beat the system, the only thing you can do is laugh at it, not because it's funny, it isn't, it's ridiculous, but ridiculous things are the funniest. If you don't laugh, you'll end up screaming in a line at the post office holding your electric bill like it's a ransom note. That's the thing about being human, we've learned to find humor in hopeless situations. We've built entire traditions around misery. We pay taxes, we get stressed, we break down, and then we call our friends and say, "You won't believe the week I've had." And somehow, the moment we share it, it becomes a joke. It's like comedy therapy. Nobody's fixing anything, but at least we're laughing through the nonsense, because laughter is the one thing they can't tax, bill, or meter. You can charge for cable, you can meter the water, you can even put a coin slot on the shopping cart, but nobody can make you pay for laughter. That's why it's dangerous, it's free, it's the only rebellion that doesn't need a permit. And you see, people everywhere have found a way to make the best of it. You've got couples arguing over who forgot to pay the phone bill, and by the end of it, they're both laughing, because really, what's the point of staying mad? The phone company already won. You might as well keep your sanity while you lose your balance in both senses of the word. It's funny how we're all in this together, though. You think you're struggling alone, then you overhear someone at the grocery store saying, "Yeah, I had to choose between milk and gas this week." Suddenly, you're like, "Oh good, it's not just me. Misery loves company, but it really loves humor." That's what makes life bearable, knowing that the joke's on all of us, and we try to keep some pride in it too. We call it being responsible. You're not depressed and broke, you're financially disciplined. That's how we dress up the struggle. We use adult words to cover up the fact that half the time we're just trying not to scream into a pillow. Responsibility, it's like duct tape for the soul, doesn't really fix anything, but it holds it together long enough to look respectable. Even the small moments become comedy routines. You're standing there at the kitchen table, staring at 3 envelopes, rent, electricity, credit card. You've got enough money for 2 of them. It's like a twisted game show. Pick your favorite basic need, and when you finally decide, you feel this strange sense of victory until you realize you just postponed the other 2. But still you smile, maybe pour yourself a cheap cup of coffee, and say, "Well, at least I'm still in the game." That's the thing, humans are stubborn optimists. We'll find a silver lining in a thunderstorm if it keeps us from drowning in reality, and that's what's beautiful about it. We can look at all this absurdity, paying to breathe, working to exist, owing money for blinking too loudly, and still find a reason to laugh. That's not ignorance, that's survival instinct. You ever see how people joke about their own misery? Can't afford rent, but I've got coffee. It's self-defense. We use humor the way a turtle uses a shell, not because the world's safe, but because it's not. You learn to deflect the insanity with laughter. Because if you take it seriously, it'll eat you alive. And it's not just individuals, whole communities do it. You walk through a neighborhood where everyone's broke, and somehow everyone's laughing louder than people in rich areas. Because when you've got nothing left to lose, humor's all you've got left to give. People share stories about broken cars, bad landlords, weird jobs, and you realize that's where real connection happens, not in perfection, but in the punchlines. Maybe that's why the best humor comes from truth. The truth is ugly and we can't change it, so we turn it into a story. The world's one giant setup and we're all waiting for the punchline. The electric bill, the rent hike, the tax season, it's all one big cosmic prank. And maybe the universe is laughing too. If it's not, then we're the only ones holding the mic. And then there's that strange moment when you realize none of it really matters. The bills, the stress, the grind, it's all noise. You pay, you laugh, you live, you die, and someone else inherits your unpaid balance. The whole thing keeps going like a rerun nobody asked for. So what's the point of taking it seriously? If the game's rigged, at least enjoy the show. We spend our whole lives chasing stability. You know, that magical place where all the bills are paid and everything's calm, but nobody ever finds it. You get one thing sorted out and another thing breaks. That's the rule of life. The minute you fix one leak, two more start dripping. So stop trying to seal the boat. Just learn to laugh while you paddle, and it's not all bad, you know. The struggle gives us stories. You ever sit with old folks talking about the good old days? They'll say, "We didn't have much, but we had each other." That's code for we were broke, but we laughed a lot. And they are right, those moments of shared absurdity where life makes no sense and everyone knows it. Those are the memories that stick. Not the bills, not the stress, the laughter that came out of them. Because in the end, that's what keeps us human. Not the paychecks, not the possessions, but the ability to stand in the middle of chaos, point at it, and say, well, this is ridiculous. That's enlightenment right there. Forget meditation, forget philosophy, just look at your life. See the nonsense and laugh. And maybe that's the secret to surviving the absurdity of it all, not pretending it's okay, not trying to fix everything, but learning to laugh through the noise. Because life's not about escaping the bills or avoiding the grind. It's about realizing the whole thing's a joke and still finding the courage to enjoy the punchline.